What's up, guys? Thank you for joining me again. It looks like the last video posted, so that's cool. So I guess this is working. I got one comment. Someone saw it. That's awesome. So we're just gonna keep. I got some other questions that came through, so I'm just gonna answer those and keep building on this. It's super easy to do. I love that I don't have to do any post editing. It just gets on YouTube, and whatever I say, it's there. It's really great because I used to hate making videos and then having to send them to someone, and they have to edit them, and then it's never right, and then it's 2 weeks go by and still nothing. It's just man, I applaud the people that can just make these videos, edit them for hours, post them. They look a lot better than these do, but man, I'm not going for looks, obviously. I'm just going for information. So yeah, let's check out some of these questions. Let's see what we got here. So the first one is, why is freelancing getting so popular? Well, I think freelancing has been getting more and more popular through the years. I've mentioned this a lot in the past. It's with the technology finally getting there and people recognizing that you can hire people for project-based things versus full-time employment, and that comes with a slew of other benefits from an employer standpoint, because they don't have to deal with all the BS of hiring and then getting insurance for them or 401ks or all these hoops for full-time employment, and and then they're basically stuck with this employee even after a project's done. So I've been seeing for a while more and more companies kind of going towards this project-based work, and I think it's really cool. And for those that are maybe that sounds worse for the workers and things like that, but I think it gives you more control because you can pick and choose the projects that you want to work with. You can have simultaneous things going on, so you're really not beholden to any one employer like you have been in the past. And the issues that I've seen in the past with especially things like health insurance and those retirement plans is that you feel almost like you're enslaved in that corporation. I can't quit, or I can't look at new opportunities because I don't want my family to be in jeopardy and not have insurance. So I think that you're going to see more and more of this, and it's just beginning to get popular. With COVID and everything, people are really starting to recognize that you can actually just have an entire team virtually. And I think that was a really big threshold that hasn't been broken. I think some smaller companies were totally accepting of fully virtual teams, but now you're really seeing that there's not going to be any loss of productivity. And it's not just in America. Even in places like Europe, it was such a foreign concept, I'd say, to hire virtually and to not have a full-time employment set up. And now it's like everybody else around the world. They're all kind of forced into figuring out how to set up virtual teams, how to bring their business online, and these types of things are necessitating people from around the world who are familiar with building these types of systems to actively get on board projects that are happening. So yeah, I think that's it's just really the start, I think, because I don't see this going the other way anytime soon. What company is gonna drop hundreds of thousands of dollars on office space right now and set themselves up for a whole full-time team? I just saw in a report yesterday that Microsoft just told their employees you don't ever have to come back, basically. And they're not the first companies that have said that. And these are major corporations that have for years just relied on their environments, their culture, and now they're just saying, the culture is better if if we're able to coalesce talent and allow them to feel safe and good, and can really stretch out the geographical areas of where we're looking for employment, and this is going to allow, I think, companies to just take on more projects, because they can be like, well, I could just bring in folks from wherever. We can get this going. We don't have to have like a 2-3 month onboarding kind of situation where they have to to interview people, to cut people. So yeah, get on board, because I think we are just getting started. Cool question. So what else do we have here? What is your computer set up for freelancing? So I have I got a bunch of stuff. I got like a Mac. I got a couple MacBook Pros. I got a MacBook Air. It really depends on the mood I'm in and what I'm working on. If I'm doing stuff that requires multiple screens and things like that, I prefer to be on like a bigger screen, such as the iMac. But a lot of the stuff I do, I prefer to really keep it lightweight, like on the air. So if I'm doing any like copywriting or anything that like really gets me to like focus on just like a single screen, I actually prefer the small stuff. I like to be able to go to a cafe or like a co-working center and not have to like lug around extra monitors or a big laptop. I just kind of prefer to keep it really, really tight, really small, just because I don't want to get too used to needing too much. Because then it's like, oh, I can't do this work because I don't have my big screen. I don't want to like give myself that atrophy. So I like to keep it nimble. And most of the stuff that I'm doing is web-based stuff. So as long as there's good memory in the laptops, they can usually handle a lot of the apps that are being loaded on on different web pages and things like that. Excuse me. So yeah, I don't think you need a crazy machine for the things that I'm doing, but if you're doing like video processing or editing or big design editing, you're obviously going to need a more badass operation. But I don't, fortunately. So yeah, my computers are mostly like 8, 9, 10 years old. So don't feel like you need something state of the art to start grinding and start doing work. Great question. Thank you. All right. So what's the next thing here? Do you know the Fiverr gig ranking strategy? I actually don't. I think that it's pretty much like every marketplace though, and you want to just do a great job and get those reviews as quickly as possible, because all those algorithms are going to look at that, the frequency of the reviews, the quality of the review. So it's always some type of qualitative and quantitative data that they're going in. They're looking at how many people view your gig versus how many people purchase it versus how quickly you are adhering to the completion time, and how good that is. So for all, you have to look at these marketplaces like they're trying to maximize their amount of money that they're trying to produce. So the best way to do that is to put their best foot forward. And it's the same as Upwork. It's the same as Amazon. It's the same as Fiverr. It's all these marketplaces. They're just trying to figure out how to make money. So if you really want to beat the strategy, do a great job, get a good review, and keep hustling and go at the fastest pace possible. So that's going to obviously get you to the top. I don't know their algorithm completely, but I can assure you if you do those things, they're going to push you to the top. Cool question. All right, so what do we got next? These are Upwork specific. Actually, let's go back to the freelancing stuff. I don't know. I don't know if you guys are seeing these questions, but they're not that great that are coming through for that. Let's go back into the Upwork. So here's the crappy stuff that I see less of these days, but you still see it, and it's really stupid. So it's, how can I buy a freelance account that is verified and reviewed? This type of stuff, like when I see this, it's just so short-sighted and lazy, I think, because I mean, why do that? First of all, like, how much are you going to buy it for? Are you like some pimp daddy, like offering like $100,000 or $50,000? Probably not, right? So like, what are you gonna buy it for? A couple $100 maybe? And it's just so short-sighted because you're gonna get caught. If I ever hired, we had a similar question about like outsourcing and that type of thing, but that's a completely different situation than just obviously complete fraud, that's what this is. So if you do this, I, as a, an Upwork owner, because I own a bunch of stock in Upwork, and as someone that takes it super seriously, if I ever caught wind of something like this, I would definitely rat you out. No offense, because you're hurting all of us. So anybody dumb enough to do this type of shit deserves to get whatever's coming from them. And I hope that Upwork like figures out a way to sue you, because there's so much fraud with trying to do something like that. It's really ridiculous. Cool. So I hope you don't do that. Let's move on. What takes a client to reply back so late on Upwork? So I've seen freelancers, when I hire them, get like super stressed out if like I don't answer them or things like that. And you just gotta chill, because I mean, you should have other shit going on where you don't want to seem to the employer, the client, that you're super needy. Obviously, if we're trying to make deadlines and this like that, and it's really preventing you from completing, and they're holding you to that time, if you're kind of stuck within that rock and a hard place, then that's one thing. But I think what you're probably talking about is something that I see regularly, where it's like, the client is just in, doing other things. They're busy. You're not the only person in their lives. And, I see this. It's like, they hit me up on Skype or whatever, like some other chat, like through the Upwork, and they're just like, can I do anything for you? Can I do anything for you? Are you there? Are you there? Are you there? Like blah, 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 blah. And it's just like trying to get work. And it's just like, Jesus, like just relax. And it's such a turn off, especially when it like keeps happening, and you're like in the middle of like other jobs and doing work, and this person is just like hitting you up on Skype, and it's just like, that's the surest way for me to just be like, all right, dude, like we're good here. So your best bet is to not, just like, if you did your work and you let them know that you either finished something, or if there was something you needed to tell them, just let them know, and they'll reply when they're ready. I have pending messages that went out for like that are probably, I don't know, a year, 2, 3 years old. Like, just move on. Just go and talk to someone else. They'll get back to you if they want to talk to you. Again, if it's preventing you from closing a contract or doing something, and it's very specific, maybe you can put it into hyperdrive and let them know why this is affecting them. And if they see that, like, oh, okay, this, like, I'm actually causing this freelance pain and harm, like their score is going down because you have an open contract and they're not saying anything, like, that's happened, and that's a different story. And hopefully they say something, but sometimes they don't. And I wouldn't get stressed over it. I would just think that, keep in your mind that for every like kind of job on ice, right, that's it's not going anywhere, and you can just keep bringing in new clients and new stuff. So that's going to keep you busy. So try and stay busy with other things, and not focus on the things that you can't control, like this type of situation. don't let it like cause you to pause, because that's going to be very expensive for you and your business, because you need to keep moving the needle forward with you. You are running a business. So just chill. They'll get back to you if they want to. Maybe they don't. It shouldn't stress you out either way, really. Just don't get antsy and don't get crazy, because then that would encourage them to do something maybe that's not going to help you. So I would just say, just let it be. If it's hurting you, do something. If not, just find other work. Hope that answers that question. All right. So what do we got now? What is Upwork.com and how do we join them? Well, Upwork.com is a platform for freelancers and clients to post jobs and to get jobs. And so it's basically just a marketplace of talent and job opportunities. And I mean, if you want to join it, it's pretty straightforward. You just go to Upwork.com, you make an account, and if you need help making the account, I've made a bunch of videos. I think it's one of the few YouTube videos that I do have about getting approved, because it has gotten very difficult in 2020, and I'm sure beyond, to actually get approved for the site, because Upwork these days is not really looking for beginners or people that really don't know anything or don't have any skills. They want people that are seasoned, that can get jobs. Goes back to a couple questions ago, where I was saying, what's the goal of these marketing or these marketplaces? It's to make the most amount of money possible. So they don't want people that aren't going to be able to close deals, to be able to make clients happy, to be able to keep long relationships. So they want the opposite of that. They want someone that's highly qualified, that knows how to sell themselves and their services, how to, make clients happy every time, how to keep very long, partnerships that could be worth tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, versus, a very small gig here and there. And I think it started more or less around those very small outsourced gigs, similar to a Fiverr, but not as cataloged. And from what I've seen and what I've heard, they're really trying to pull away from that. They're trying to get bigger contracts. And I just actually heard that they may be going in the catalog direction too, to maybe include the long tail of the people in the system. So I think they're going to be firing on both cylinders. They're going to have these long-term contracts, but they're also going to have these quick hits, which could bring a lot more money to the marketplace table. So check it out. Make a profile when you can, and I think it's going to be great for you. One sec. All right. No? Okay. All right. So what do we got now? Okay. How long does it take a freelance web developer to complete design and content on one project from start to finish? So that's pretty specific. These are really going to range. A website can be one page, a website can be multiple pages. It could also be highly complex if it's like a web app, or it could just be like a standard just page with some design. So I guess if that's what you're referring to, is just like a really standard page that's, has some perfunctory things attached to it. But even those range, because you can get crazy with the graphics, you can get crazy with the copy, you can get crazy with the integrations. What's the goal of the site? Is it to get people to opt in? What happens when they do opt in? Is there email copywriting involved with that? So there's definitely some questions. So there's definitely a range. I mean, I've built pages in under a day, and I'm still involved with pages that are still not complete after years. So it's a huge range. I think what you really want to do is have the goals or the milestones kind of laid out, some type of strategy. I always call it like a minimum viable funnel, or you could call it a minimum viable page, where you're basically getting something up and it does what you need it to do, and then you can keep moving on from there. I wouldn't try to come out of the gates with too crazy of a page, because you're just going to be spinning your wheels during that development time. But yeah, I think you can get it done super quickly in a matter of hours these days, because a lot of the templates are almost 80% done for you. There's only so many layouts you can do in a page. Most of the people are on mobile anyway, so it's not like there's going to be a crazy amount of things. And then if you're a graphic designer doing the design work, maybe that can be outsourced, so you're just kind of putting the nuts and screws into this thing. So really depends. But if you really want to go crazy with it, I'm sure you can make a client happy and build them a page like under a day, if you're really like honing in on that and that's like your only project, and how to do some type of graphic design. Maybe not the logo development or things like that, but you could find out what looks good, you can incorporate it, Photoshop. So I think all those things are going to help make the page quickly. All right, this is a good question. So this one is, why would someone want to hire a freelancer at their company? So I've been hiring freelancers at my company for probably close to 10 years now. I was even hiring freelancers when I had the restaurants. It's always good to have help, with anything. I started hiring freelancers just to save me a lot of busy work time. I would have them help me with email stuff, grabbing data from different databases, virtual assistant stuff. Really, it's a time saver. And I think, going back to the first question, we're living in a day and age now where everything's virtual. So, I think the range of diversity of the jobs that freelancers are doing, it's really specific to like what you need. So if it is VA help, if it is design help, web page help, copywriting help, the list goes on and on and on. You obviously can't do everything yourself, and you can't just hire a full-time employee if you want just small amounts of work done. So the only really alternative is freelancing. And again, we're in a day and age right now where you're probably not going to invite them to your office and interview them and go through all these people. So the next best thing is to just get on a Skype call or a Zoom or through Upwork and just meet them, get to know them, get to like them, and give them tasks to do. So that's why they're hiring freelancers, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. All right, so with respect to brevity, I'm only probably going to do one more here, just because people probably aren't going to want to watch me for hours. So what are some ways of advertising my Fiverr gigs? Cool question. So my buddy Phil and I are always talking about this, because I don't think you can just rely right away on the traffic coming in from the marketplace itself. So I think it would be a good idea if you do have any way of either doing paid clicks, like you could use Facebook or even YouTube for that to kind of siphon traffic towards your gig. I think it would be a good idea. If you have traffic already on your site, it wouldn't be a bad move to pipe that to the Fiverr gig, at least to get that algorithm up, and going back to the algorithm question, the traffic going into it is going to help you too, especially if they're buying. So, yeah, I would figure out whatever traffic sources you can find. Like even this video that I'm doing right now, I could easily let you guys know about, a couple of Fiverr gigs that I have available if they're looking to, I don't even know what I have on Fiverr right now. I think it's like a workshop funnel, like outline and script and things like that. So I could be just pushing those throughout my videos. I could be using Quora to get traffic to different things. I could be using, like I said, my own website. If I had a big email list, I could push it through that. If I had something maybe like in real life, like a store or something, maybe I could get eyes on that. I don't know. There's a myriad of ways to deliver traffic. Quora is a hell of a good one. But yeah, and then you could rely on the marketplace internal traffic. But I think it would be a great idea to advertise a little bit just to get that initial spike, and hopefully that will convert to actual purchases, and then that's going to be great for you. Cool, that was a great question. So yeah, guys, we're gonna wrap it up here, and if you want to ask me any other questions, if you're seeing this. If you're seeing this video in the future and not live, which is probably 99.99999% of people, just write in the comment any other future questions, or on Quora, or hit me up directly, upworksavemylife.com, or hit me up through Upwork on upwork.com/FL/Adam Palmer. Thanks, guys, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.